It's Press Pass with Jack Ebling, Mid-Michigan's spirited sports debate. Now let's get talking sports. Here's Jack.
Great evening, Mid-Michigan and beyond, and welcome to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time to meet Team 337, Larry Lage, Michigan Associated Press sports editor, and he's a proud Ann Arbor native and resident with just enough East Lansing seasoning, including a memorable season as Sparty. Larry, it's not often we get to have you on the show, but you've been a busy guy today.
Yeah, no, it's perfect timing. I always kind of like those late afternoon Sunday stops so I can come in here and get my powder and be on TV.
You look good.
Thank you.
You've been busy. You've been covering a lot of stuff, including some things that aren't exactly games, right?
Yeah, I have.
Talk more about
I
that
usually
later.
like to be in the toy department, but sometimes I have to be a real journalist and cover real stuff.
Yeah. And you have seen all of Tom Izzo's 10 Big Ten championships. Today, one of the most memorable. I think everyone who was there will never forget it, and he said it was maybe the most important to him. Rico Beard joins us, longtime Detroit radio and TV personality. He's a Specs Howard broadcast instructor, recruiting insider, and he is host of the Spartan Beat weekdays from noon to 1 on the Spotlight Radio Network. Rico, how would you describe the atmosphere today at Breslin Center?
I think the atmosphere was electric. I think it was also a little bit sad, melancholy, because you knew that was the last time Cassius Winston was going to play on the court. And for a lot of people, you knew the moment was going to happen. Tom almost blew it and didn't get him out the game to kiss the Spartan, but it all worked out.
What was wrong with Chris Holtman, Ohio State coach? He didn't like the fact that Michigan State's guys were kissing the logo.
I think it was the fact that he was taking an L, and he didn't like that. Nobody likes to take an L, especially Chris. Sorry, Chris.
Also want to welcome Lindsey Huddleston, the SPS Edge. He's founder of Sports Psychology Solutions and remote co-host of The Drive with Jack Thursday afternoons and a few other days on the Spotlight Radio Network. And you are getting ready for your first trip to a Big Ten tournament.
Yes, looking forward to going down to Indy with you guys and being all about basketball. It should be a fun time.
And you're picking a good one. You're picking a tournament that could go a lot of different ways. We're going to talk about that later.
Right.
But what'd you think being out there today, seeing the emotion, the psychology of what Michigan State
Oh,
pulled off?
wow. To be involved in that after such a tumultuous season and everything that's happened on a personal note in basketball and to kind of wrap all those emotions up, I think the Spartans fans really got their just due with the experience and exposure of the last night.
Do you think it matters that the title is shared, that there are 3 teams involved in this instead of having to be an outright crown?
Well, I looked at that banner going up and it didn't say anything about being the shared title, so I think they'll be okay with taking that share of the title, even though it doesn't say it on the banner.
Yeah, nobody says who you lost to on the back. Doesn't say that.
They all get a ring and all schools get a trophy, so.
Yeah. The other 11, well, see you next year. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk about the game today and what Michigan State pulled off the last 2 weeks. Going Green segment up next.
At the David Chapman Agency, it's our knowledge and expertise that make insuring home, auto, and farm easy for you. Experience the benefit of a local agent who cares about you with the David Chapman Agency and Auto Owners Insurance. Visit davidchapmanagency.com.
Where's Larry? Where's Larry? Have you seen Larry? Where's Larry? Where's Larry? Have you seen Larry? Where's Larry? Follow that bear.
Have you seen Larry?
You just missed him.
Larry's RV of Jackson.
Why did I become a Michigan State trooper?
I wanted to make a difference, help people, and save lives.
You don't need prior law enforcement experience, and you get paid while you train.
You can serve anywhere in the state, and there are many different career paths.
I want to leave behind a legacy
and be a role model in my community.
Working together to keep our communities safe.
What are you waiting for?
Change your career, change your community, change your life. Apply today.
The student bookstores are Green and White Shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Going Green segment, brought to you by Graf Chevrolet and Graf Nissan on West Grand River in Okemos. With 106 years in the automobile business, they'll take great care of you as they have on all 7 of my leases and purchases. Go green, go Graf.
This team is very good, a little bit like Maryland in the fact that they've got athletic guards that have some size. It wasn't that long ago everybody thought they were the best team in the Big Ten, so we know what we're up against, but I think we've improved too, and looking forward to the opportunity.
Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo talking about an Ohio State team that was #1 in the nation according to the net rankings the first time they came out in mid-December.
Yeah, funny how things change, man. Basketball season is like a kaleidoscope. Yeah. Just don't hold still, wait, because it'll change. It's like Michigan weather.
Rico, 3 weeks ago, no one who didn't get their mail in Breslin Center thought Michigan State was going to be a co-champ. How did they pull it together? What happened the last 2 weeks?
I think it really came down to what was going to happen when they went to Maryland. Could they get the revenge game? You had game day there. Everything was going against you. It looked like Maryland had this thing all wrapped up. They went into a hostile environment. They won. Yeah. They carried that over into Penn State. And then down 19 at Penn State, it looked as if, okay, you know what? They used it all for Maryland. They just kept riding it, and then they had Ohio State tonight. You knew they weren't losing this game tonight. Yeah. There was too much on the line. Teammates were going to win it for Cassius no matter what. But, yeah, I think it all started with the Maryland game.
To get this three-peat back-to-back-to-back, still had to win today, even after a couple of Maryland losses once the Terrapins beat Michigan this afternoon. And in the second half, Ohio State came back. They got it tied. They just couldn't get over the hump. Why was Michigan State able to fend them off?
Guy wears number 5 on his jersey. He's pretty good. Okay, I think he may have a future. And his teammates picked him up. I think this was more of a Rocket Watts and Aaron Henry. Mm-hmm. First half, it was Rocket. Second half, it was Aaron Henry. I don't know what they said to him. I don't know what he ate for breakfast this morning, but buy a lot of that, Aaron, because this guy was playing the way we've all wanted to see him play all year, and he's driving to the basket. He was the best player on the court for a large stretch of the second half.
Lindsay, what is the psychology with the team that's seemingly out of the race and then makes a spectacular charge down the stretch?
I think what we saw right now was indicative of what the whole season has been, up and down, up and down. But I think the key, as it relates to the psychology, if you can just stay present in the moment, if you can just draw the players in to focus on this one particular game, you can get the better results. And I think that is the overwhelming psychology that's needed to be successful this time of season.
When you think about the deficits Michigan State had at home against Iowa, came back and shut down Luka Garza, and how about the Penn State game?
Right.
They're 19 points down. And then they start the second half with a 34-9 sprint. End of story.
No, it's just indicative of what the potential is, but I don't think you'll see a lot of that going further because now we're seeing young players playing. You don't have players staying 4 years anymore to bring that consistency, so you're going to have that up and down play, but hopefully the leaders can kind of bring them into what they need to do to be successful.
Larry, thinking back to Tom Izzo's early years when there were people who said, oh, that guy, he'll never get it done here. Get rid of him. Bring in a real coach. And now if you look at the championships that have been won, this is 16 Big Ten regular season and tournament titles, the 8 trips to the Final Four. How does this season stack up, considering all the adversity on and off the court?
Well, I think in terms of adversity, he's never had more. Basketball is a serious sport. Tom Izzo's making millions. These players hope they're making millions. But this year we saw what life and death is like, because Cassius Winston lost his brother almost 4 months ago, and that rocked this program. From a basketball perspective, Josh Langford was supposed to be a key player, and I think a lot of people forget what he was going to do this year. Throw in that they didn't get the transfer from Marquette, Joey Hauser. You know, they hoped that they'd have him. Kyle Arns was up and down. Rocket Watts was injured early. I think Tom Izzo's never faced more adversity because of what happened with his star player, tragically losing his brother. So in terms of adversity, I don't think Tom Izzo's ever had more, and he still ends up on top of the Big Ten title.
Throw in the 2 weeks where Tillman was waiting for his kid to get born.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably played the worst 2 week stretch while he was waiting, and then all of a sudden X2 came out, and next thing you know, he's back to being Defensive Player of the Year.
So how much of that is senior leadership, and how much of it is just the Michigan State way? And they know, hey, done it before. It's March. It's our month. We're going to be there.
Well, I think it's the Michigan State way to play your best this time of year because you see the fruits of going through the rough schedule at the beginning. I think Michigan State is playing better right now because Cassius Winston and Xavier Tillman are leading the way. They have learned to deal with the things going on in their life, and they've been able to channel their energy in a positive way when the lights come on, and they've played really well. I think Cassius has lost some weight. He looks quicker. He looks confident. Ball's coming off his fingers nice. I think they're clicking at the right time.
27 points today for Cash Money, and he is very close to getting the 2,000 points and 900 assists to be just the 4th player in Division I basketball history to do that. We'll be right back, taking a closer look at Senior Day.
My leprechaun friends, it's Saving of the Green.
And it's time to save people some money.
Yeah! We're marking everything down. Yeah! Uh-oh. Let's save him even more money.
Graf is giving below GM employee pricing on select vehicles. Drive off a new Equinox, just $173 per month. Or a new Chevy Trax, just $99 a month. Or choose from a Silverado crew cab or double cab for under $200 a month.
It's the best time of year to save you a lot of green during the Saving of the Green sale at every Graf dealership.
It's another fall Friday night, and your kids should be
playing high school football.
It's a fun game, and it's safer than ever.
It's safe because the rules, the coaching, and the equipment are better than ever before.
As a result, serious injuries are at an all-time low. Seriously.
And builds strong schools, lifetime memories, and tomorrow's community leaders. And it's mother approved.
It's a great game, and we want to teach it to your kids.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
Download the Fox 47 Storm Shield app and stay in touch everywhere you go.
Hi, I'm Pat with Holt Diamondale Insurance Agency. Do you have horses, cows, sheep, and llamas on your farm? With Auto Owners Insurance, we're making sure that all your life events and animals are covered. Call your hometown team today.
It's Truck Month at Grand Ledge Ford and Merrill Ford Okemos. A great deal on 19 F-150s, $8,500 rebate. Everybody buys, no trade, no plan, no pin needed. Plus 10-year, 100,000-mile drivetrain protection from Ford Motor Company. Check us out online, merrillford.com, grandledgeford.com. Working hard for you.
Sirens turn on by themselves, which is just spooky.
The epic 2-hour season finale.
Feels like the end of the world.
911 Lone Star season finale, Monday on Fox.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. It's time for our Take It to the Bank segment, brought to you by Dart Bank. Dedicated to meeting the needs of our banking community for more than 90 years, with 4 convenient locations in Mason, Holton South Lansing, Grand Ledge, and the expanded Home Loan Center in Frandor. That's Dart Bank for what matters most.
Defensive catch bar. Shot clock is down to 7.
Winston on the fly, gets his shot and gets the 2. Shot clock at 7, looking for an opening. Winston, 3, 2, there's a long shot. It's down. What a shot by...
They were looking for McQuaid. This is not a good outside shooting team right now. It's got to penetrate.
Winston with his runner for 2. All right, Tracy, who wants to lead anyway? Look what's happened so far in the rebound.
What a great
Michigan State gets it inside for the dunk.
Forcing that switch with that little bump, and he took advantage.
Here's Winston. There you go.
Boy, not a good show.
He cannot get into the paint or get a shot off against Culver. Nice switch.
Here's Tillman again.
He's got the switch now. They can't get it inside, though.
Winston to match it. Got it.
There you see some highlights about Cassius Winston and what he did in this amazing career. Not over yet, as he'll tell you. Said Martin Cleaves has a single game assist record. He has the career record. They both have 3 championships, Big Ten championships. But Martin has something he doesn't. He wants it. And he can get it in Atlanta. When you think about this, Rico, Cassius can put himself in a position where no player in NCAA history has more points and more assists. The guy who's really up there, it's going to be tough to catch, is Gary Payton. But with a long tournament run here, and Michigan State could play another 9 games, it is possible that Winston could do that. Does he deserve a spot on the Spartans basketball Mount Rushmore with Magic Johnson, Tom Izzo, and Martin Cleaves?
I think he does, Jack. I think, you may have a fist fight with him and maybe Denzel, because I think we kind of forget what Denzel did. He was the National Player of the Year. But what Cassius has done is simply something that you haven't seen, and you probably won't see this again. Because if you're a good point guard, if you're a great point guard like Cassius, you're going to leave. You're going to go to the pros. You're going to test the waters. Cassius, I think, was just enough that he wanted to stay at Michigan State all 4 years. He was kind of overshadowed by Miles Bridges for the first 2 years. It looked like it was going to be Langford's team. Langford goes down. Cassius picked it up, and he's been running with this ever since. So, yeah, I think as of now, he could go on that Mount Rushmore. His number will get retired at some point. But, yeah, I would put him on there.
890 assists, and guys, he could put that number where no one will ever get it because players like that aren't sticking around 4 years anymore.
No, they're not. That's just it. He's gonna hold that Big Ten, kind of how Mateen was there with his kids showing up. That's gonna be Cassius years from now with his kids saying, yeah, this stood for like 20, 30 years.
Lindsey Huddleston, you know Cassius Winston and Joshua Langford in a little different way than most members of the media do. How would you explain what they went through this year?
I think it's really hard to put into words what they experienced. Even as adults, we would be overwhelmed with the loss of a brother or just, your career virtually ending or not knowing what it's going to be. I think when you look at some of the accomplishments they've had, whether it's beating Duke or something like that, that's great, but those only last for 40 minutes.
Right.
The issues that Cassius and Josh are living with are issues that are going to be with them for the rest of their lives and probably a daily impression. I think they've been great role models. They've been great in showing us the ability of how you can still be great even with a pressing issue in your life. And I think they're going to have a lasting impact on the Michigan State community, just as we've had a lasting impact working with them over the years.
What did you think of Tom Izzo bringing up the fact that it's possible Joshua Langford could have a second senior day and then the crowd all chanting, 1 more year?
Well, Tom Izzo is a veteran in communication, and there was an opportunity to get the rest of the Spartan faithful to get in on that and also make Josh kind of bow his head and blush a little bit. So it's something to think about and something to keep out there, and they'll be ready for another senior night for him if it has to be.
Larry, Kyle Arns, the first player ever had his brother in the senior night. That was there from cool. Ohio State. That was cool. And Connor George.
Yeah, son of a coach at Michigan State. And, this senior class is always going to be kind of one of those what could have been. It's almost like an incomplete.
Not incomplete yet. They got games to play. We'll be right back.
Fox 47's putting our money where it helps most back into our community with our 3-degree guarantee.
And the team from Trips Collision Center says yes to helping local nonprofits. So we'll be matching every Fox 47 donation dollar for dollar.
$1,250.
Congratulations, Tony.
Thank you very much. $1,250 is what we budget
to create and to maintain a match per year is that exact same amount. We do our best in finding a perfect mentor, a perfect match for the youth in our area, grades K through 12, and pair them up with someone that will provide them with some hope, some love, and certainly some guidance to prepare them for the challenges that face them in becoming an adult.
The 3-Degree Guarantee, only on Fox 47 News.
Profit over patience is a different kind of battlefield. The Resident, all new Tuesday on Fox.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as a side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus. Welcome back. Press Pass on Fox 47. It's The Big Picture, brought to you by Dean Trailways. With trips for every season, Dean takes care of the details so you can enjoy the experience, including daily casino runs and great getaways to Northern Michigan and Chicago, where Doug Warren and I were for the NFL Legends Classic. That's Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
What the heck?
That was more adversity. I felt if we could get through that, there was nothing we were going to see in the season. It didn't matter.
Yes, sir. Forward, baby. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Talk that talk.
So proud of you guys.
Appreciate you, Coach.
So proud.
Love you, Coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You guys are awesome. Great job, guys.
There you see Greg Gard and the Big Ten tri-champion Wisconsin Badgers. And guys, I don't know one person outside the state of Wisconsin, maybe Travis Trice Sr. in Ohio, who thought that Wisconsin could win this championship. But you saw the math there that Greg Gard was doing up on the board. 60 minus 56 is 4. And 4 has been their number all year. 4 more for Howard Moore. And how strange is it that it comes down to that?
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, thinking about Howard and the emotion that goes behind a team like Wisconsin, I think that's in everyone's heart. And teams like that, you got to watch out for, because when things get tough, they're going to be able to dig down and rely on something that other people can't. And wishing the best to the Moore family, and you only hope that some great things can come out of this for this program and for the legacy of Howard Moore and his work at Wisconsin University.
And people all over the Big Ten were kind of taking Wisconsin for granted. Won at Michigan, beat Maryland in the only opportunity, and that's what gave Wisconsin a #1 overall seed, Larry.
Yeah, I think they're just the kind of team and program that people overlook. They usually don't have a superstar, they don't have high flyers, but at the end of the day, as Rico, and I were talking about, they're in the top 4 year in and year out, and we just overlook them, and maybe we shouldn't. And Gard, Coach of the Year.
Lost their second best player, Kobe King. He's going to be at Nebraska now, but he said that coach was using a racial epithet, and he couldn't be part of the program anymore. And it's an amazing story. Rico, Maryland had to settle for a 1/3 share after seemingly having this thing wrapped up.
Right.
What happened to the Terrapins down the stretch?
I think they just kind of ran out of gas. Well, it wasn't that they ran out of gas. You know what? They were playing, I don't want to say luck, but my goodness, every game they were going into, they were finding ways to be down by 10 and come back and come back and come back. Eventually, that catches up to you. And I think that's what happened when all of a sudden they hit that losing streak, because I think mentally they're thinking, okay, no matter what, we're going to come back. And then they didn't. And then they didn't again. And then they didn't again. Fortunately, they won against Michigan. I think it's a nice prize that they at least got a share, so it doesn't look like a wasted season. But I think they were living a charmed life, and that charm caught up to them.
A good friend of mine was there today for the Michigan-Maryland game, and said when Michigan kept crawling back and getting closer and
Was that
closer.
Tom Crawford?
No, it was not. Marty McNamara. He said it was so tight in that place. It was just like you couldn't get oxygen. And then finally, Maryland made a couple of shots, but that drops the Wolverines to 10-10. How do you assess that season?
I think the season is kind of what it is. It had highs, it had lows. It was okay. I don't think this is what Juwan wanted, but it wasn't as bad as some people thought it was going to be. He was right smack in the middle. He's playing in that 8-9 game. It's about right for what he had.
Lindsey Huddleston, earlier this week, we were talking about the serious possibility that there could be a 6-way tie in the Big Ten, and not a lot of strange things had to happen either. Did the 3 best teams get the right to hold the trophy?
The 3 best teams for this week. Every week has been changing. Teams are evolving, and with postseason play ahead, you're going to still see teams get better as they go. So I think the 3 best teams as of right now got it, but going forward, there's still going to be some opportunity for evolution, and you'll see better play going forward.
Which team now, we're not talking about Wisconsin, Michigan State, or Maryland, which of the 11 other teams is going to rue the day that it made a couple of critical mistakes and cost themselves in a championship in a league with so much balance?
Oh, it's going to be so many teams, and I've always kept an eye on Illinois. I just really thought that where they were last season to where they are right now under Coach Underwood and what they've been doing, they may be one of those teams to think back on it like that.
I'd say Penn State, because at one point, remember, Penn State was number 9 in the nation.
Yeah.
They were hot. I think they had a 7-game winning streak in the Big Ten. They were going on the road and beating everybody in a time when nobody was winning on the road. So I think Penn State's going to look back and say, that could have been us.
And when you have a 19-point lead over Michigan State at home, you should be able to finish the job. For the Penn State fans, it said some of them sat in their seats 45 minutes after the game ended. They could not believe what they'd seen. They'd been waiting for that game forever. Didn't get it done. We will be back in just a minute. Our Tracking a Trophy segment. And we're going to look ahead to the Big Ten tournament.
My leprechaun friends, it's Saving of the Green.
And it's time to save people some money.
Yeah! We're marking everything down. Yeah! Uh-oh. Let's save them even more money.
Graph is giving below GM employee pricing on select vehicles. Drive off a new Equinox, just $173 per month. Or a new Chevy Trax, just $99 a month. Or choose from a Silverado crew cab or double cab for under $200 a month.
It's the best time of year to save you a lot of green during the Saving of the Green sale at every Graph dealership.
Anyone who's had our chicken knows it's plump and juicy. What they may not know is that it's also 100% natural.
All our chickens are certified, humanely raised, no antibiotics, on a high-quality diet of soy and grain.
Why are they called tenders?
They're called tenders because they come from the tenderloin of the breast, hand-trimmed just for colors. It's not a strip or a finger, it is the true tenderloin.
I'll put our chicken tenders up against anybody's.
That's like my Granny Franklin used to make. That's outstanding, Craig.
Welcome to Delicious.
The Ticket Machine is your local connection to concert, theater, and sporting event tickets nationwide. Our entertainment experts are ready to help you create a memorable experience, trusted by fans for more than 20 years. Whether you're looking for tickets for your corporate outing, family excursion, or vacation, we offer the best seats and the best prices. Grab a front row seat now on theticketmachine.com.
The only station with a weather guarantee.
Fox 47 News.
Can I help you with something?
I'm your driver.
Deputy Bishop. I'm also your personal security detail.
I don't need a bodyguard.
I come with the stars, Sheriff. Bishop has decided that the best way to do the most amount of good is through the system. Or this new sheriff, Bill Hollister, he really wants to do the right thing.
Thought we were all on the same team.
Well, you got no idea what you're walking into here. Bill doesn't speak bureaucracy. Fortunately, Bishop does. 10th floor is like the yard in Chino. You're talking to one dude, his buddy comes up behind you with a shank, turns your liver into pate. Bishop can tell that Bill cares. And that's not something Bishop's ever seen from a sheriff. You could actually make a difference. Bishop has this charming sass, not really physically intimidated by anyone either. If you rabbit on me again, I will put a bullet in you.
You promise?
It's really important for Bishop to have Bill and for Bill to have Bishop.
All right, give me the keys.
You're not driving, it's not a date.
Deputy, all new this Thursday on Fox.
Says, get that out of here. Big Ten's top shot blocker. And Simpson.
Clever. Trying to influence, but boy, there's so much depth and character to that guy.
McQuaid comes out of the break and hits a three.
Teske on the bench and the bigs on Michigan State.
They really don't have a center. They don't need one if he's going to make those.
Both those wins by the Spartans, second half comebacks. McQuaid,
you can't.
5 to shoot. Livers trying to stay right with him. Tough shot!
Overload, replace.
Livers.
Oh! Showing some onions! I don't think Winston. They'll try and get in the lane and be creative.
Here he's driving in. Teske defending somehow.
Mentally. I mean, we always talk about their physical play, their rebounding, their aggressive.
Sixth time, it's Michigan State.
Just a little flashback for Tom Crawford. That was the third victory for Michigan State over Michigan last season, and it wrapped up the Spartans' 6th Big Ten tournament title, the most of any school. Rico Beard, what does it say about Izzo's program that in 25 seasons he now has 16 combined regular season and tournament titles?
It tells me that he's learned to evolve. He's learned to win it in different ways. He's won with like some really great teams. He's won with some teams that were like, I don't know how he quite did it. But he used what he had and he got a championship. He still knows how to motivate players. He still knows how to light that fire underneath them. And he still knows how to get them to that championship level. You know, a lot of times you see coaches kind of get stuck and it's my way or the highway, right, and they don't evolve. They don't change for 15 years and then they're normally fired. He has changed.
Tom Izzo is one Big Ten regular season championship behind Bob Knight and Ward Piggy Lambert of Purdue. They have 11, Tom has 10. How important is it for Michigan State to play its best basketball next week and repeat as tournament champion, or if they don't get that, just get ready for the NCAAs?
I think for Michigan State, you want to get to Sunday. Because of the timing of the game, the NCAA kind of told you, the championship game for the Big Ten doesn't matter. We've already set up what the tournament brackets are going to be.
You want to get there.
So yeah, you want to get there. If you win it, way to go, cut those nets and get ready for this posing when we say where you're going. But other than that, it's not quite the same as other teams or other conferences because it's so late. But I think if you get to Sunday, you might as well win that damn thing and go. So if Izzo has to play, especially Larry, if it's a rematch with Michigan, he doesn't want to lose.
He'll get motivated for that. We know
doesn't want to lose that.
Lindsay, which two teams will meet for the Big Ten championship, and which individual player will get the renamed Delaney Award as the tournament's MVP?
Wow, put pressure on me, right? I like Michigan State, what they did tonight, right, and having a great amount of success in a short amount of time. But that Fighting Illini team is in the back of my mind. That last game they had there where Illini probably felt that it didn't go out the way they wanted to go, and they're kind of still out there working. So I would be concerned about a Michigan State versus Illini game, but I'll give Michigan State the edge.
Larry Lage, give me two teams that will not get the double bye, that will have to play on Thursday, that we could see in the championship game.
That we could see, I'll go with Penn State and Michigan. Two teams that at different times this season have been the best team in the Big Ten. I think potentially they could make the sum of their parts come together in Indianapolis and make a little run.
And with all 14 teams to choose from, which one do you like best?
I'll go Maryland. I think Cowan is the kind of guard that you can ride for a week or longer, and then I'm going to go with them. We'll go with the Terrapins.
I'm going Penn State.
You like Penn State?
I think defense travels. They got some of the fastest hands. Those guys can just get steals like nobody's business. Defense travels, and you're going to play on a neutral site. There's no home crowd. I mean, we all know what the home advantage was. It's not there. So I'm going with the team that plays better defense.
Lamar Stevens would love to get another shot at Michigan State since he was 3 for 19 on senior night against the Spartans.
Can we get your 2 picks before we move any further?
Absolutely.
Jack's not going to give a pick.
What do you think?
Wow. As far as who won't be able to make it in, you're saying?
Who's going to win it? Who's going to win it?
The 2. Give me a Sunday
Maryland,
matchup.
Penn State.
I go with State. I go with State, that is Michigan State. I still stay strong with that. You know, them being able to fight through and get it. What do you think, Jack?
I think Michigan State has a great chance the way they're playing now. I just don't know whether Maryland now, they finally got the championship. They've never won any part of the Big Ten
So
championship.
answer the question.
Welcome to the press pass with Larry Lynch.
Thank you, Larry.
I guess I'm going to say Michigan State because I think they have some momentum going right now.
Okay,
and they have, here's the thing I like about Michigan State in a tournament like this. They have so many parts, and teams that have short benches have a hard time winning day after day after day. So if you have 10 players, I think that gives Michigan State an edge. Still got to get it done.
But in all fairness, I think you're looking at probably 8 to 9 teams that
could win.
If they won the Big Ten tournament, you wouldn't be shocked.
Would I be surprised if Michigan or Rutgers won? Absolutely not.
Iowa, okay.
We'll be back in just a minute. We're going to have our Out of the Blue segment. We'll talk about Michigan a lot of ways coming up next.
Change your career, change your community, change your life. Apply today.
I'm Tara with the Holt & Diamondale Insurance Agency, and we love animals and know you love your horses, goats, and other farm animals. With Auto Owners Insurance, we not only have you covered, but your animals too. Call your hometown team today.
The sirens turn on by themselves, which is just spooky.
The epic 2-hour season finale.
There's no solve for this problem.
Feels like the end of the world.
911 Lone Star season finale, Monday on Fox.
4,000 people in our state are missing. Their parents, grandparents, kids, families waiting and hoping. Fox 47's Fox Finders is dedicated to finding the missing and bringing them home. Find out how you can help. Watch Fox Finders Missing Persons, Mondays on Fox 47 News.
Don't miss The Masked Singer, all new Wednesday on Fox.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailway's Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as the side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus. you see highlights or lowlights, depending what color is your prism, of the weekend's action at Yost Ice Arena. Lindsey Huddleston, a month ago, no one would have guessed that Michigan would finish 3 spots higher than Michigan State in the Big Ten hockey standings, or that the Wolverines would have back-to-back 3-0 wins on home ice. How do you explain that, and how important is momentum?
Momentum is extremely important, especially with this generation of athletes, because they basically have short attention spans. They're looking at their phones. They're caught up in the hype of social media. But any coach who can reel these guys in and make them just focus on the moment, focus on the game, and then you'll find yourself building brick by brick to get the results you want. And I think we see an example of that with the current hockey play that's taking place right now.
And momentum can be positive or negative, right? Depending on how you feel that day or what your confidence level is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can definitely start spiraling in the negative, but the hope is that you have a leader who can recognize that, who can pull the players back, even student athletes who are leaders, to say, hey, let's get ourselves under control before we start spiraling out of control in a negative direction.
Larry Lage, switching to something much more serious, a story you have been covering since the beginning. What can you tell us about the sexual assault allegations against former Michigan team doctor Robert Anderson?
Well, I know a lot more than I can say and a lot more I can write, but the biggest thing is Michigan often talks about being leaders and best. They have an opportunity to prove that right now.
Have they proven it so far?
No. So far, Michigan has refused to take the Attorney General. The State Attorney General said, please waive attorney-client privilege. Give us all documents, let us in to do an investigation, because we're not going to do it if you're going to fight like Michigan State has and still is with the Larry Nassar situation. And Michigan says, no, we're going to do this ourselves with our own investigation. And now they're already moving on to another new law firm.
What happened to the law firm they had till this week?
Well, the law firm that they had this week previously represented some child sexual predators. And that came out publicly, and the university said, after talking to some of the victims and advocates, we've decided we should go another direction.
I was surprised to see the number of athletes. I'm always surprised to see the scope of something like this. You have a former football player from the '97 National Championship team involved in this. How widespread was the knowledge? How many people were aware of what was going on?
Well, that's what we're trying to get our minds around and the facts around. It seems like a lot of athletes talked about it and knew that whenever they went to see the late Dr. Robert Anderson, no matter what they were going to see them for, whether it was an upper body injury or some kind of sinus infection, he was going to check their private parts in inappropriate ways. And there appears to be decades of these allegations with a paper trail making Michigan look really bad in this situation.
Wrong is wrong, criminal is criminal. But does it make a difference, do you think, in the public's mind that these aren't young children involved, as we saw at Penn State? This is not gender-based, as we saw at Michigan State. Does that matter?
I think it has so far for the public. I don't think there's an outrage about the alleged atrocities at Michigan quite like there was at Michigan State, because we're talking about young women and young girls, or at Penn State where we were talking about little boys with Jerry Sandusky. And it's an interesting question for each person to ask. Are the crimes, alleged crimes against an 18 to 22-year-old man worse than or not as bad as if it happens to a little girl or a young boy? I mean, I think each person has to answer that question.
Larry, I would agree, because the same reason why you don't hear a lot of what happened with the wrestling coach at Ohio State.
Yeah,
Strauss.
Because, when you look at it, it's like, well, they were men, they can handle themselves, where children and women are often looked as weaker and they need protection.
I think Sean Windsor from the Detroit Free Press, he wrote a Sunday column today, and I would suggest anybody
recommend it.
Look at it, and I think he nailed a really tough situation and really brought people up to speed, and yet that story and column didn't seem to get much traction for some of the very reasons it said in the story. This isn't quite resonating with people, and maybe it's because people are so used to hearing stories like this, like whether it's a school shooting. School shootings don't get the buzz they used to, because sadly they seem to happen so regularly.
Rico, when you think about 4 schools now in the Big Ten East, we know about Jerry Sandusky and Larry Nassar, and then the horrific allegations in Columbus. What's the lesson to be learned quickly?
Transparency. Just, you know what, don't lie. put everything out there in the open and just cooperate. Cooperate with the justice system, cooperate with the media. Because if you could lose in the court of public opinion, like MSU did.
We'll be right back. Our Law of the Jungle segment is up next. We'll take a quick look at the Tigers and talk Lions draft. Up next on Press Pass.
Welcome to the greatest competition ever assembled. The winner will go home with the official title of Lego Masters, $100,000, and a fancy Lego trophy.
It's going to blow people's minds.
It's going to wow everyone. Yippee-ki-yay, Lego Masters!
Fox is turning a global phenomenon into television's biggest competition.
I don't think so.
I asked for a nice, subtle way to let everybody know that we're at 1 hour. 1 hour left, everybody!
Oh my gosh. The shark gobbles it up and becomes
Land shark. Amazing.
We're gonna do this! No!
Oh my god.
I feel like you don't understand Lego.
You're not gonna hit this, are you?
Can we take that again? No? Okay, well, it's all good.
Lego Masters, Wednesdays on Fox.
Download the Fox 47 News app and stay connected everywhere you go.
My leprechaun friends, it's Saving of the Green.
And it's time to save people some money.
Yeah! We're marking everything down. Yeah! Uh-oh. Let's save him even more money.
Graf is getting below GM employee pricing on select vehicles. Drive off a new Equinox, just $173 per month. Or a new Chevy Trax, just $99 a month. Or choose from a Silverado crew cab or double cab for under $200 a month.
It's the best time of year to save you a lot of green during the Saving of the Green sale at every Graf dealership.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
The student bookstore is your green and white shop headquarters. Outfit your entire family with Spartan gear. We have a large selection of men's, women's, and children's clothing. Show off your Michigan State pride with new shoes, socks, hats, and more. Have your tailgate ready with MSU party supplies, car accessories, and dress your pet in green and white. We have gifts for students, grads, alumni, and fans. From Vera Bradley and Dooney and Burke to diploma frames and more. Always shop SBS for the biggest and best selection of green and white. Go green, go white, go SBS.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Law of the Jungle segment. Brought to you by Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, your healthy alternative to fast food. Eat Woody's and live longer. I'm talking about chicken shawarma with baked breast meat and hummus made fresh in a 3-day process. That's why I'm there every week. Stop and see Chuck, Delita, and their terrific staff on Trowbridge, or find Woody's favorites at Tom's Foods, Horrocks, and all across MSU's campus.
Miguel Cabrera greets Cole. Last to left center. Oh! Pumped it out. Deep. Bomb. Fastball sitting dead red.
You do it right away.
Cabrera sends it to deep center.
That's gone.
Another back-to-back jack.
That's gone.
Oh, my.
Hey, I'm staying on here for the rest of the season, boys.
Hey.
There you see a slimmer, trimmer Miguel Cabrera with a pair of homers off Garrett Cole, the Yankees' high-priced off-season acquisition. Lindsey Huddleston, what are the chances that if Miggy can stay in shape and healthy, he can have a monster bounce-back year, let's say 35 homers, 120 RBI, 320 batting average?
I won't say that the chances are high. I'll say it's probably going to happen. Really? Because he's lost weight. He's had these off-season issues in his personal life. He has a chance for redemption. People were expecting him to be, all the great things that the Tigers needed. And now there's a chance in this off-season, as he's getting ready to work his way back, he can do that. And I think that's quite possible. And I'll say here on Press Pass it's going to happen.
He also has a couple of important career milestones within reach. Talk about 3,000 hits, 500 home runs. For a franchise that could have 15 wins more than a year ago and still have triple-digit losses, What would that mean to the Tigers?
It mean a lot. It mean a lot to us too, because we really struggled watching the Tigers last season. And when you're at the very low with a team that's had a winning way, when you have this type of positive thing going on, some light at the end of the tunnel, people are going to get motivated. It will mean everything to the Tigers franchise for them to have some success. And I think it's a possibility it can happen too.
Larry Lage, switching cats for a minute. What should the Detroit Lions do with this opportunity, the number 3 pick in the draft? You want them to trade back, try to get more assets, to take one of these defensive foundational pieces they can have for a decade, or roll the dice on Tua Tagovailoa?
I think they should take Ohio State cornerback Jeff Okudah at the number 3 pick, stay there, take a guy who can lock down half the field, probably going to lose Darius Slay, leaves a huge hole at corner, and I think Jeff Okudah can fill it.
There are a lot of ways to get pressure on the quarterback, but one way is to reduce the amount of time a quarterback has to throw the ball. Another way is to make it tougher for him to get those wide open receivers, and Okudah seems like he can do that.
And it's such a passing league, and I say no to Tua because of his injury history, and they have so much invested in Matthew Stafford and trying to win this year that I think they won't and they shouldn't take Tua, and they should take Okudah.
Rico Beard, you've made it very clear where you stand on Matthew Stafford. It doesn't look like he's going to be leaving Ford Field anytime soon. What are the chances that he ever wins a playoff game as a Detroit Lions quarterback?
Probably a better chance for yet another kid than winning a playoff game. I just don't see it happening. And you know what? We got the sports psychologist over here, and I should probably never say never. Never. Not going to happen. Nah, I'm sorry. I know people are invested in him 10 years. How big of a sample size do we need for this man to realize he is what he is? He's not going to bring you any greatness in Detroit.
He was playing at a Pro Bowl level, certainly. Some people would say near MVP efficiency last year when he got hurt. Not good enough, Rico?
As Denny Green once says, you are who we thought you were.
All right, we will be back in just a minute, and we're going to have our Cool and Smooth Awards, and we're going to have our Play of the Week, Game of the Week, Team of the Week, and our Player of the Week, all brought to you by Culver's. We'll be right back with that and more here on Fox 47.
What's really important to me is being able to have a partner, and Dart Bank has been that for me. I'm Eric Nelson. I'm a managing partner here at the English Inn. I've worked with John Morris at Dart Bank to help put together multiple projects that have assisted us with growing our business and continuing to be successful.
Team spirit, face paint, more cowbell. Dean Trailways Motor Coach takes care of your travel, so you can support your favorite Spartan teams and focus on the important things. Dean Trailways, your favorite ride.
Woody's Oasis, your healthy alternative to fast food. Woody's has the best Mediterranean food in town. Stop and see Chuck and Delita. They'll make you feel like family. Their friendly, knowledgeable staff is always willing to help.
Hi, how are you doing today? Do you want to do the homemade bread with it, or did you want to do the thin bread as the side?
They'll be sure to put a smile on your face. And as lifelong supporters of MSU athletics, you never know who might stop by. Eat Woody's and live longer.
Coulda, shoulda, Woody's.
Woody's Oasis on Trowbridge Road, right next to campus.
Fox 47 News at 10.
Giving Mid-Michigan their late news an hour earlier.
Making it easier to wake up in the morning.
Every night at 10.
Know tomorrow's weather and then get to bed.
Everyone knows.
The best way to start your day begins the night before.
For over 20 years.
The only station with a primetime newscast.
Fox 47 News. Local news at a more convenient time.
Welcome back to Press Pass here on Fox 47. Time for our Cool and Smooth segment, brought to you by the 5 Culver's locations in mid-Michigan. Since 1984, Culver's has been delighting guests one meal at a time with scrumptious Butterburgers and premium frozen custard. That's Culver's. Welcome to delicious.
George Washington in getting back in transition, stopping the GW fast break. Well, to accent your point, they won the 11-0 run, did George Washington. Now they've gone nearly 3 minutes without any points. At the top of the broadcast, it's an opportunity for George Washington to come in and make a statement. And to this point, they have. Everything's gone his way this season.
Guards right now saying when he catches the ball in the post, you've got to help me.
That is Dayton star Obi Toppin, and he was a 0-star recruit. Now he is the favorite to be National Player of the Year, and he has Dayton on the one line with most of the bracketologists. All right, Team 337, who has been as cool and smooth as a Culver's mint explosion this week? Rico Beard, what do you have for Play of the Week?
Play of the Week, what I could have gone with, you saw in that highlight, was Obi Toppin. He had the fast break through the legs, throw it down.
Yeah.
He'll get a lot of national love. Let's stick locally. Cassius Winston, senior day for Michigan State, a lot of emotions going on. But I'm not even going with that game. I'm going to go the game previous to that. Penn State.
Yeah.
Michigan State up 4. It looks as if Penn State is trying to come back. It's their senior night. It's under a minute. Cassius gets the ball, and Cassius does what he does. He drives to the hole, gets the and one, and he makes that basket. Puts Michigan State up 7, and at that point, the game was over. He put really what I thought was the weight of the season on that shot because Penn State, they were creeping back in.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Michigan State had enough to withhold them. Cassius led the team. Cassius is the Play of the Week.
Lindsey Huddleston, what about our Game of the Week?
Rico's definitely on to something referencing Penn State. It was the Penn State game early this week where they go into Happy Valley, extremely hostile crowd on Penn State's senior night and able to pull out the win despite Coach Izzo being a little bit irritated with his players. But I think that was a confidence game to go in that confidence bank to carry him through the rest of post-tournament play.
Was that serious aggravation, or was he looking for something to fire his guys up?
I think it's a little artificial manufacture, but hey, it works for him, and they look good that night.
Larry Lage, what do you have for Team of the Week?
Team of the Week and Team of the Month, the Wisconsin Badgers have won 8 straight to rally into a share of the Big Ten title out of nowhere. I don't think anybody picked them to be a contender, certainly not a month or two ago. Really impressive run and a feel-good story with the tragic loss they had with an assistant coach about a year ago as well.
Yeah, when you think about Wisconsin, we think back to Dick Bennett and especially Bo Ryan, how they were always there at the end. And Greg Gard had kind of written them off, but can't do it now.
You never write off Wisconsin. Aside from last year, Wisconsin has finished in the top 4
every year.
Every year.
Yeah.
It's the easiest money bet to make. Bet Wisconsin top 4 next year. You'll make money. I promise you.
For our Player of the Week, dovetailing on a lot of these thoughts, Cassius Winston picked a great way to go out in his final game in Breslin Center. After everything that happened, he said that it was appropriate. His whole family could be there because Michigan State basketball is a family. And he said that that was the best way to end 4 years. So many people that he meant something to on and off the court. I've always said my favorite part of Cassius Winston is after the game, Larry, when I'm waiting to get some quotes for you. And he goes out the side door to meet with handicapped kids. And he does that almost every game. I want to thank Larry Lage, Michigan Associated Press sports editor. Rico Beard, you can hear him on the Spartan Beat. That is weekdays from noon to 1. And there's a good chance we might be doing this show next Sunday in Indianapolis. We'll see.
We did it before.
That's right.
We can do it again.
And Lindsey Huddleston, Sports Psychology Solutions, and he'll be with me making his first trip to the Big Ten tournament.
Rookie. Carrying the bags. Just want to let you know that.
I ain't getting Hayes. We got Hayes and Alpha. No more Hayes now.
You're carrying the bags.
We'll be back next Sunday night with a lot more basketball, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great week. Thanks for joining us.